Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and we've got a kind of a different build today. I was thinking that all of my builds that I post up until this point are completely endgame, and it's kind of tough to get some of the gear. So I kind of decided to make a build that's very beginner friendly. So this build is 100% craftable. It's very easy to get. All you need to do is just get a crafter and just find somebody to help make this for you, and it could take 2 seconds to put it all together. You don't need to grind for any dungeons or anything like that. And honestly, I was a little skeptical at first of whether it could compete, and honestly, it did really well, and I was very happy with how it went. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Let me know if you guys decide to check it out or not, or if it's something that interests you. But guys, also one last thing before we get to the build. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are trying to get to 3,500 subs by the end of the month/year, and we're almost at 3,400. So with your guys' help, I think that is possible. I'm very optimistic. So if you guys want to help, awesome. But without further ado, guys, let's get on with the video. All right, guys, let's get started. First things first, we're going to look at our character sheet. We're going to be a Breton on our MagDK. I really like doing Breton on this because of the reduced magic cost on all of your magic abilities. I think that is really good for your sustain, and it's kind of hard to sustain on MagDK if you really don't know what you're doing at first. So I think that this is the best way to make it easy mode and honestly get the most bang for your buck on this build. Our attributes are going to be 39 points into magic and 25 points into health to give us a 23.2k max magic pool and then a 30.5k max health pool with also 16.5k max stam. Our Mundus is going to be the shadow to increase our critical damage and healing done. And then our food is going to be Orzoga smoked bear haunch, but if you can't afford this, just use the Jewels of Miserable food. It is basically the same thing, you just lose a little bit of stats. What this does is it gives you max health by 4,300, and your magic and stamina recovery is increased by 369. And then we're definitely going to want to be Vampire Stage 3 on this. This is going to increase your tankiness the lower health you are. That way you're not getting executed in 2 seconds, and you actually can take a hit when you're lower health. As far as our gear goes, we're going to be using as our front bar set. This is going to be different because this is a 100% craftable build. We're not using any monster set, no mythic, anything. So we're going to go first looking at our front bar set. This is going to be Order's Wrath. Our dual wielder is going to be both axes. We're going to have a Nirnhone main hand axe and a precise offhand axe. That way we can increase our damage as much as possible, increase our critical damage. What Order's Wrath does is it gives you a 2-piece of crit chance, weapon and spell damage, another line of crit chance, another line of crit chance, and then increases your critical damage and critical healing done by 8%, sorry. And then so our Order's Wrath pieces are going to be both of our axes main hand. And then our front bar, sorry, I meant to say. And then also it's going to be our helmet in heavy reinforced. And then light shoulder in impen. And then medium hands in impen as well. And before we even go any farther, as you can see, all of our body pieces are going to be prismatic. It's definitely expensive, but it's definitely the best way to get the best bang for your buck and get the most amount of resources possible on your build. Our other set is going to be our backhand, our back bar set is going to be Deja Trickery. This is going to be a way to get your max health up, your max stam, your max magic, and then the 5-piece is when you deal damage, you gain 1 of 5 random major buffs for 21 seconds, and it can occur every 9 seconds. And the eligible buffs are Expedition, Protection, Mending, Heroism, or Vitality. So basically that is going to buff either your speed, your healing, your tankiness, or your ult gen. So I really like this on DK. You just have to switch to your back bar for 1 second, really, and you have so many dots that it's probably going to proc this very, very, very often. So this is why we're using this as our back bar set. And I like this in Ice Staff for defending as our back bar trait. That way we get it to be as tanky as possible. Ice Staff increases our tankiness. That's why we're not using Fire Staff, Resto Staff, or Lightning Staff. We're using Ice Staff because it helps your resistances. And then defending also helps your resistances as well. And then Our jewelry is all going to be Daily Trickery. Our necklace is going to be infused with a reduced health, magic, and stamina glyph on there. That way it helps our sustain. Our ring is going to be infused weapon damage. And our other ring is going to be swift weapon damage. That way we're a little bit faster. That way we're not super slow. And then our other 4-piece set on this, because you can fit 4 more pieces on your build, our 4-piece set is going to be stuns. The reason why we're using stuns is because it is the best 4-piece as far as damage goes. I feel like this build is tanky enough already, so we're doing damage for our 4 pieces. What you're going to get out of this is going to be weapon and spell damage, offensive penetration, and another line of weapon and spell damage. So our chest piece is going to be heavy stuns in reinforced. Our belt is going to be light stuns in impen. And then our shoes are going to be light stuns in impen as well. And then our legs, our final piece of gear, is going to be heavy stuns in reinforced. All right, let's look at our skills real quick. Our skills, let's look at our front bar first. Our main DPS is going to be Molten Whip. This is going to really hit hard, especially when you're in Corrosive and you get that 3-stack. I've hit really hard so far on this. It feels really nice to get those crits in, especially with the when you're in Corrosive. It just feels really nice. So the way to really get the most out of this ability is whenever you activate a different Ardent Flame ability, you gain a stack of Seething Fury, increasing the damage done of your next Molten Whip done by 20%. And also your weapon and spell damage is increased by 100 for 15 seconds as well. So basically what that's doing is it's stacking. So your other Ardent Flame abilities that you have are Flames of Oblivion and Noxious Breath. So basically what's happening is you're activating either of these 3 times, either or both. That doesn't really matter which, like this, as you can see. So as you can see, we get the 1, we get the 2, we get the 3. Our weapon damage is a lot higher now, and our next whip is going to be, sorry, I don't really know PC UI. That is already a lot higher, and that's not even with our Major Brutality buff, so that is a lot higher. That's how you want to really combo your whip. You don't really want to use a whip without your 3-stack. It is the best way to really do the most amount of damage as possible. Shattering Rocks is going to be your main CC on this build. Shattering Rocks is going to just stun an enemy through block, and then when they break free from that, you're also going to get a nice heal too, so that's nice as well. Flames of Oblivion, this is a nice extra little bit of damage to really put on your enemies. It is honestly so good to have that little extra damage between your Noxious, your whips, and all that stuff. It really helps, and on top of that, you're getting Major Prophecy and Savagery, increasing your weapon and spell critical by 2,600. It is really good for your front bar. You want to keep that on there. That way your crits are happening frequent. And then Burning Talons, this is going to be another way to control the fight. I know that you can hard CC them with Shattering Rocks, but you can really kind of root them in place with Talons, and you can really drain a lot of their stamina by hitting Talons first, and then they roll dodge out of it, and then hitting Shattering Rocks. That is a combo as old as time with DK, and it really drains a lot of new players' stamina that really don't know what they're doing. I definitely recommend trying that out and comboing that really well together. And then Noxious Breath is our final ability on our front bar. This is going to put a little bit of a dot on them. It's a nice little bit of upfront damage too, but what's really important with this is you're putting Major Breach on your enemy, so it's going to reduce their physical and spell resistance by 6k. So that is huge. You're going to hit a lot harder. I love it. Then our ultimate on our front bar is going to be Ferocious Leap. This is just a really good way to finish off any kills that you need. If you see that opportunity, go for it. I don't really use this too often. I like Corrosive better. But honestly, if you're feeling like you're struggling on resources and you just need some fast, Leap is the way to go. And then our back bar skills are going to be Igneous Weapon. This is going to increase our weapon and spell damage by 20% for 1.2 minutes. This is an easy buff to keep up. You really don't need to keep track of it too often. 1.2 minutes, it is really easy to keep that up. Race Against Time, this is going to be your snare removal, but on top of that, it's going to be your source of major expedition and minor force, increasing your movement speed by 30% and your critical damage done by 10%. So you definitely want to keep this active at all times because we are on a crit build, and so that minor force, do not sleep on it. Keep this up at all times. Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main heal over time on this build. This is going to be just a nice 5-second heal. And on top of that, you're getting Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. It helps you be tankier, and I love it. And then Coag is going to be your main burst heal on this build. I've hit really fat Coags when they crit. I've gotten upwards of 12 to 15k heals on this. It's really nice. It's really clutch. Don't spam this or you're going to run out of resources because it's kind of expensive. But honestly, it is definitely worth it to use this. I love it so much. And then Volatile Armor is our last skill on our class. We are going to be using this to get your Major Resolve up, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 20 seconds. And it puts a nice dot on the enemy. So if you hit them with this and then you're on your back bar, this is always going to proc your trickery as well. So, you know, just try and keep this on your enemy at all times. That way, whenever you're on your back bar healing yourself, it also procs your trickery. And then on top of that, we're also using Corrosive as our main ultimate. I always say this every single time I do a DK build. Corrosive is my favorite ultimate in the game. It's going to make you really tanky. It's going to limit your incoming damage to 3% of your max health. So that is really not that much at all. And then on top of that, you're also ignoring your enemy's physical and spell resistance. So you're going to be hitting like a truck. That's why I'm not using maces on this build, because I'm in Corrosive very, very, very frequently. So you really being able to crit while you're in Corrosive, it is a deadly combo, and I love it so much. And then finally, our champion points, our blue slottables are going to be Master at Arms, Ironclad, Fighting Finesse, and Focus Mending. Our red slottables are going to be Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts, Sustained by Suffering, and Celerity. And then the 3 things that you should focus on in the green tree, most importantly, Breakfall, Rationer, and Liquid Efficiency. And that's the entire build, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you do, please subscribe to the channel. If you're not, it would help me out so much. We're trying to get to 3,500 subs by the end of the year. We are closing in on that 3,400 mark, so we are just chugging along, and I really appreciate you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you guys being here so much. The support that you guys have shown me has been absolutely nothing short of incredible, and I really do appreciate every single bit of it so much. It is so, so, so kind of you guys. It means the world to me. So guys, let's just end the video right there. I could just talk all day about how appreciative I am, but I'm just going to call it there. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.